Hi everyone, Courtney Gruenholz back here for another video. I'm playing around with some of the things that I've got on my camera, so I hope this video turns out okay. I'll watch it before I post it. So here I am sporting another Fear Street shirt. The lighting is not very good, but I have my outside lighting, so I have no control over it. But it says Shady Side Cheer for those Shady Side cheerleaders. And yes, I have it in pink. And yes, I did get it off TeePublic again. So I'm also planning to get some more shirts because they put out some more Fear Street designs because of the movies. Hype's dying down a little bit, but I'm going to wait a while. So it's not just my money I'm spending, it's my husband's hard-working, earned money. So maybe in the next couple of videos, I don't know if I'll talk about Fear Street anymore after this one, but I might be sporting some Fear Street shirts even if I'm not talking about Fear Street. But so here we are again in going over my Fear Street book collection. I'm going to call it Fear Street Classic. So all the books from the original run. So, and everything by Archway. So I was talking about like my favorite covers and my favorite books, so I guess kind of going down from like my favorites to the ones that aren't exactly my favorites, but they're by no means bad. But that's my own opinion. As always, if you ever want to leave comments and tell me what your favorite covers are, what your favorite stories are, go right ahead. I'm all ears. So I was talking about like so far like super chillers and like sequel books. So one book that is like most infamous for needing a sequel and eventually did get its sequel is The Best Friend and The Best Friend 2. So I'm making sure I'm trying to get them in the frame here. Like I said, I'm playing with my camera, so I just want to make sure I'm in the frame. So The Best Friend. This cover. I'm trying to get myself situated so I make sure that I'm in camera. So this cover, this looks like my mom. I mean, she does. She's like not a teenager. She's much older. So again, so if I make you kind of seasick with my moving around, I'm trying to make sure that I'm actually on camera. So, but it's about a girl named Becca Norwood, who one day this girl waltzes into her room and says Becca is her bestest friend in the entire world. And she has no idea who this girl named Honey Perkins is. So Honey kind of basically does like a single white female thing to Becca's life. She starts wearing Becca's clothes, saying that she borrowed them or that Becca gave them to her. Starts taking Becca's things, gets her hair styled exactly the same cut as Becca, and starts dating Becca's ex-boyfriend and then dumps him because Becca dumped him, and she's just not right. So the ending of the book, for anybody who hasn't read it, I don't really want to spoil it, but it had to be like one of the most downer endings, I guess, so far in a Fear Street book, because mostly it's like the bad guy won. So everybody over the years is like, oh, Honey needs to pay for what happened. So they eventually ran the contest of somebody to write a story as a sequel to make sure Honey got what she deserved for The Best Friend 2, which came towards the end of the Fear Street run. I think this was before Trapped, so this is like the second to last book. So a girl named Sarah, I think it's Sarah Bickman. Sarah Bickman, and she was from Wisconsin. She had the best idea for a story that R.L. Stine chose to be, the sequel to The Best Friend 2. So I don't know if it's all 100% her story and R.L. tweaked it, but it doesn't exactly give the payoff that you think it does, but it's not that bad. It starts out good and then it kind of, So it's kind of okay, but the difference in the cover art, it's still by Bill Schmidt, but it's still different. So it makes Becca look a little bit more like a teenager. So yeah, Becca, and then Honey over here on the other side, just kind of like giving her this side eye. So I like this cover. It's a little bit better than the original ones, just because I look at it and this is supposed to be Becca. She's in high school. She looks like my mom back like when this book was written. So it's not that bad. I mean, I think on a shirt it would be probably really awesome. So, but I guess going now to, I think I've touched on all the super chillers. I think I have one trilogy left, maybe a couple of super chillers. So I'm just gonna kind of go from books that are like my favorites with stories and covers, and just keep going through my collection. So this video might run a little long. I don't know. We'll see. Next up is the Sleepwalker. So about a girl named Mayra. Everybody says Myra. I'm going to call her Mayra because that's the way it looks like it's spelled to me. She starts taking care of this old woman, and her mother took care of her for a while, and they didn't get along, but she takes care of this old lady named Mrs. Cotler, and they get along fine, but then all of a sudden Mayra starts sleepwalking, and she's wondering if maybe Mrs. Cotler is a witch because she has black candles and a cat, and so maybe she's put a spell on Mayra. So she has to figure out why she is sleepwalking, because she keeps sleepwalking to this lake, and like the next time she sleepwalks to the lake, she could probably drown. So it's a really good story. I like the cover. It's one of the earlier books in the series. It's number 6. So, and it's a good story. I like it. Next up, one of my favorites. This is Double Date. Now, the original book had tattoos in it, little butterfly tattoos, because the butterfly tattoo is an important part of the story, and it had a Fear Street tattoo and everything on it. And this one is one that I got. It's a Simon Post reprint, so it's a little bigger than my Archway books. So, but another book where our protagonist is a male. This is Bobby Newkirk, and he thinks he's a ladies' man, but he is one of the biggest jerks ever. And he thinks he can get away with dating all the girls in Shadyside and treating them like, objects. So then he comes across the Wade twins, Samantha and Bree, and he decides, hey, I'm going to date both girls at the same time, and then things start going crazy. Now, it has a really good payoff, and so I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it, but it does. It has a really great payoff, where and it's also one of those books where you're supposed to like the lead character, but you end up maybe not liking them very much. There's actually a lot of Fear Street protagonists that aren't very likable people. So if I went through the list, we'd be here definitely all day. So, but it's one of my favorites, Double Date. Another one of the earlier Fear Street books that I remember reading, First Date. So, and just about a lonely girl named Chelsea who wants to go out on a date. She's 15, never been on a date. So, and then she ends up having two new guys in town wanting to ask her out. And of course, one of them is a killer. So, it's okay. It's one of like the earlier ones that I remember reading, kind of after like Switched and the Prom Queen. It's one of the earlier ones that I read. So it gets spoiled pretty early. So all right, I had to kind of restart this video because I heard this strange noise and I didn't know what it was, and I was thinking my husband got home. but it wasn't him, so I don't know what the heck it was, but it kind of creeped me out a little bit. So I'll try to edit it. I might have to put it in parts. I don't know. Just bear with me here a little bit. So I was talking about first date. Again, very very kind of spoiled in the beginning of it, but it's still a good story. So I've got nothing against it, but so it's okay. Next is a little bit later in the Fear Street run, Dead End. Another David Jarvis cover, I believe. So not Bill Schmidt, David Jarvis, I think. Yep, David Jarvis. So I like it. It's okay. It's simple. About a bunch of friends who get into a car accident and then they find out somebody got killed and then they try to keep the secret. And then, of course, some people want to go tell the police, and then they start getting picked off one by one. It's got some pretty graphic kills that I remember, so that kind of makes it memorable. So there's the Dead End. Let's see. Just gonna go off the pile here because again, it just goes from ones that I like to, okay. The Boy Next Door, like really late in the Fear Street run. Again, kind of we start off knowing from the beginning what's going to be going on. So about a boy named Scott who likes to date nice girls and can't stand bad girls. So when he moves next door to a girl named Crystal, she and her friend Lynn and even her sister Melinda get into this thing about who's going to go out with Scott first. None of them knowing that he's not really the boy next door. He's a crazed psychopath. So it's okay. Again, that advertisement for the best friend too. So okay. Next up is Truth or Dare, another David Jarvis cover. I can already kind of tell by the style, but I just want to make sure. So I don't have to correct myself. Yep. So of course, it involves the game Truth or Dare. A bunch of kids get stuck up at a ski condo and they play the game Truth or Dare. And a couple of things that happen in the game start throwing the story into motion. And then the girl who's hosting everybody, named Dara, she ends up getting killed. And then it's kind of like trying to figure out who it is that killed her. Did something, revealed during the game lead to her being killed? So it's got a pretty good ending. I think something like this happens in the book on the cover art, but not like 100%. So, but I keep hearing this strange noise. So if I keep looking over, it's because I'm hearing this noise. I think it sounds like maybe there's like a horsefly or something got in here. I don't know. But earlier it creeped me out, so that's why I stopped. Next is The Mind Reader. Very simple cover. It's nice. I like it. I also look out the window to make sure my husband's not coming home because, don't want him in the background or background noise or anything. So, but a girl named Ellie, she has visions, and she finds a skeleton in the Fear Street woods. And it seems like this skeleton in particular is calling out to her to find out exactly how she ended up there. It's nice and simple. It's a good book. I like it. Again, I don't really hate any of these Fear Street books. So, yeah. Now, if you hear like little tippy tappies, it's my doggy coming up underneath my chair. So, she's a good dog, so hopefully she'll behave. Alright, next up is One Evil Summer. So, this is a pretty good Fear Street book, too. very supernatural elements. And a girl named Amanda, her and her family go out of town from Shadyside and need a mother's helper to help out while she's attending summer school. And they think they found the perfect one in Chrissy. But there's something from Chrissy at the get-go that Amanda does not like. Animals don't seem to like her. You can't get a hold of any of her references. And then weird things start to happen, like out of this world kind of things. So, like supernatural elements. And I love this cover. Simple. Again, so next up, going a little later into our Fear Street lineup, is The Confession, again with a lovely sticker. So Julie and her friends have this one friend, Al, who's turned into a total jerk. He uses all of their secrets against them to blackmail them into doing things for him, and they end up getting in trouble. So when he ends up dead, we actually learn, in the middle of the book, who killed him. Now it's a matter of, are you going to keep the secret, or is somebody going to go to the police and tell? So it's kind of different from other Fear Street books, but so it works. Confession. Next up, still later into the Fear Street classic lineup, The Perfect Date. So the boy modeling on this cover is R.L. Stine's own son, Matt. I heard it's him and his girlfriend, but another book where we have a male protagonist, and it's Brady. And Brady's kind of a little bit like Bobby Newkirk from Doubleday, where I guess he thinks he can go out with any kind of girl he wants. And of course, he wants really hot girls. And he wants this other girl, her name's Rasha, while he's going out with a girl named Allie. But Brady has maybe one sympathetic thing for him that we learn in the beginning of the book. His last girlfriend died in a horrible sledding accident, and like the detail in that is so gruesome, And he ends up meeting Rasha and just falls for her. But then weird things start happening, especially when a girl with scars all over her face starts following him all over and tells him to stay away from Rasha. So it's kind of predictable a little bit about some of the motives, but then the ending is just like major bonkers. I mean, the first time I read it, I kind of did a double take, and I've read it tons of times since, even blogged about it, and I still can never get over this ending. So, but I might have to stop again, or maybe I'll just stop for the day, because now I have my doggy whining because apparently she did a good thing by using the puppy pads, and she wants her treat. So you're getting little insights into my life too as I'm doing these videos. So, and I still have tons of books to talk about. So I might end it here. I might edit it in. I guess that's a surprise that you'll have to find out. So we'll see, I guess. Yeah, so if I don't continue this video and have to go into another part of this reintroduction to my Fear Street collection, then I will. So it's not easy being a mommy and a doggy mommy either. So bear with me. Hey, I'm back. I'm going to try to get more of this video done because it'd be kind of weird talking about Fear Street without my Fear Street shirts on. So I don't know. I may have to like wear it again. Just feels weird. But I still have like a ton of books to talk about. So, because I have a pretty big collection. So this video is going to be fun to like edit and work with and stuff. So I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you find some sort of enjoyment from like my torture a little bit. So okay, next up is Secret Admirer. So Selena is the one of the drama club's best actresses. She always gets every single role, and she starts getting an obsessed fan who starts leaving her letters with the name The Sun. That's the stalker, because they leave little sun stickers, because Selena's name means moon. That's kind of cheesy, but I like this cover. It's a good scared reaction. So, and so I guess I need to try to go through these quicker because I keep getting interrupted by things. Oh, so next up is the face. So something happened between Martha and a bunch of her friends, and ever since this thing happened, she can't remember any of it, but all of her friends still act a little weird around her. Her boyfriend still acts weird around her. She doesn't know what happened. Nobody will talk about it. Her therapist wants everything to come back naturally. But then Martha starts drawing the face of a boy that she has no idea who he is. So she starts trying to, get her friends to reveal who is this person and try to bring back what happened to make her forget. So I guess I like how there's like this shading, shadowy kind of thing going on with her face. And story-wise, it's pretty good. When we start remembering what Martha forgot, we get a scene that is really intense. I was shocked by it. So yeah, as Fear Street books progressed, R.L. Stine was able to actually kill off characters. I think in the beginning they didn't want him to kill anybody, but that makes it boring to make them complete thrillers and have nothing happen. So then we started getting murder mysteries and supernatural elements. So, but the face. Next up, what Holly heard. So Holly is the gossip of Shady Side High. She knows everything, and when she hears that the popular girl May and her boyfriend Noah, who Holly has a thing for, even though she has a boyfriend, are maybe plotting to kill May's mother so they can be together, she hears about it, and then May's mother does end up dying. She has an accident, and then she's wondering if May and Noah are going to come after her because she heard what they planned. So what Holly heard. But again, she's a gossip, so she knows many things. So she has a few more enemies than she may realize. So I like the cover. It's kind of misleading, but once you start reading the book and know the characters, you're going to understand the cover a little bit more. So, but I always wondered about this thing about the lockers, though. It's just a little nitpick, though. They go to Shadyside High and their colors are maroon and white. Why did they have blue lockers? It's just always kind of, and even on the cover of Broken Hearts, she goes to open the locker and it's yellow. Their colors are maroon and white. Why are the lockers yellow? And then now they're blue? How many renovations does Shadyside High go through over the years? So, just nitpicky. I was kind of weird about that. Well, when I was in middle school, our colors were purple and gold, and we had teal lockers. So, I don't know. Okay. Next up, college weekend. Tina's excited to go see her boyfriend Josh. He's away at college. He just graduated. She's still at Shadyside High. It's a little dampened that she has to bring her cousin Holly with her, but the weirdness starts when they go to the college and they arrive at the station, and Josh isn't there to pick him up, but his friend Chris is there to get them. And he says Josh is away on a hiking trip. And Tina finds that weird because they've been planning this. So Tina and Chris have a lot in common, and they start to get closer. And so, and then all this weirdness happens. Holly disappears, and then Josh and them still aren't back. So it kind of draws you out wondering, maybe is Josh cheating on her, or something really wrong with Chris. So It kind of maybe goes where you expect it would, but it's still pretty good. Still a pretty good read. Next up, Final Grade. So Lily Bancroft comes from a family where her sisters before her have always been valedictorians in the class. She takes honors classes and she wants to be valedictorian too. But the new young teacher, Mr. Reiner, puts more pressure on her because she's an honor student and gives her a B instead of the A's that she gets. So she kind of, I guess, gets frustrated and, I think maybe she fantasizes attacking him. That's why the cover looks like this. But then he ends up dead, but it's an accident. He was trying to change a light bulb and fell off the desk. But word starts going around that maybe Lily had something to do with it. But it wasn't Lily. It was someone else. Someone else who has an obsession with her and will do anything for her. So she also has another rival for being valedictorian, a guy named Graham, who just, again, one of those guys that thinks he's just the best, but he's also a smart guy, so kind of just maybe just a little smarmy. But so they'll do anything to make sure Lily gets what she wants. And it has another death where I read it and it was really gruesome. So this is why sometimes these books, they have one kill or a twist or something that just blows my mind. And so it's one of those. Next up, kind of volley back and forth between the beginning and the middle and the end of the Fear Street runs. But next up, and probably the last book I'll get to talk about today, actually the real last book that I'll talk about, no more interruptions. So is Killer's Kiss. So he's not our protagonist. We kind of have just this triangle thing of characters, but Vincent Milano is one of those guys that thinks he can get away with dating two girls at the same time and not have any repercussions for it. So he's dating Wild and Sexy Delia and then Karina, who's a blonde with a temper. So he's dating both these girls at the same time, and they just happen to also be rivals in everything, not just in boys, but they're up for this scholarship competition. So, but they're rivals in everything. So, it's this triangle between them, and then things start happening with Delia's stuff for the competition, her artwork and her guitar, and all of her stuff starts getting messed with, but then another angle is thrown in with her younger sister, who has a crush on Vincent and gets mixed up with him. So it's, you're wondering if it's Delia's sister or if it's Karina who's messing with her. And I think there's another person up for the scholarship award, another boy that's thrown in. So it kind of leaves you with who's responsible for what. And it's got a pretty good ending. So yeah, I guess the cover's okay. It's real. I think this was released in February, so it does have this real Valentine look to it. Yep, February of 1997. So we got purples and pinks and reds, and so yeah, it's pretty good. So, but this is actually where I really am going to stop the video this time. I still have books to talk about, and so far, if I haven't talked about any books that are your favorites or books that you know, it's not necessarily that I think they're bad. It's just some books I remember reading before others. So it took me a long time to find the earlier Fear Street books. And like I said, if a kill or an ending stuck out to me, it just had more of an impact. Or a cover stood out to me, that's why I remember it the way I do. So I still have a few more books to talk about. So next time you see me, I don't know what I'll be wearing. I eventually will get back to talking about my own books, as I intended. But, so the Fear Street movie hype is kind of ending down a little bit, but I'm still stuck on Fear Street, going down this nostalgic trip with you all. So, until I see you next time, this is Courtney Grunholz, really signing off, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.